Ed Burtynsky is one of the most interesting and inspiring photographers active in Canada today. He's an artist that's made a great contribution to the field of photography in the country, and he's somebody who's produced images that I think resonate right around the world. I think one of the things about Ed Burtynsky's work is this sort of sense of how captivating the images are, and part of that has to do with this sort of inexplicable almost beauty of the work. But at the same time, when you look at them and the content of them, there's an understanding of something else that's at work. It's that terrible realization and the beauty that come together that is the terrible beauty.
I've been working with one idea, which is humans' relationship to nature and how we engage with that place that we call nature, and that kind of idea that we see nature outside of ourselves. If one believes that that's a terrible landscape, then our cities should be seen as a terrible landscape as well, because we can't have the world we have without getting it from somewhere, and that somewhere is nature.
The four categories that we looked at were inhabited, extracted, manufactured, and abandoned, which seemed to me to also represent the kind of process that humans go through when they take on space in the world.
The idea of inhabited is looking at how we move into landscape and then shape it to our own lifestyle, to our own living. Getting a sense of how we carve out a homestead in a rugged, mountainous landscape. Human habitation became a very important subject, and I keep going back to it all the time, finding new ways to speak about it.
The second section of the exhibition is called Extracted, and it really is a look at the way that we, in a sense, extract from the earth that we live in.
What I saw in my role early on as an artist is to go to the sources that allow for all the things that I use on a daily basis, but then reconnecting us with those places in nature where we gather that material and bring it back to be manufactured into the things that we use on a daily basis. That these are not outside of ourselves, these are not some alien landscapes that we have nothing to do with. This is precisely the landscape that allows us to do what we do today. In terms of humans terraforming the planet, farming is the number one thing that we do that transforms those natural landscapes into landscapes to our purpose.
The manufactured section, of course, speaks to his outstanding work and film manufactured landscapes. And it's not so much about the fact that we manufacture. It seems it's an essential part of our existence, but it's the scale and the intensity of the manufacture and the way that's escalated.
We live in this illusion that infinite growth can continue and we can keep going back to the cupboard for more. That's delusional. That doesn't exist in nature.
The last section of the exhibition looks at abandoned, which is this kind of idea of that in all of this production, we're producing vast amounts of waste.
I was interested in entropy and that all things, including us, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so I saw the arc of, materials come from the landscape, they get formed, and then there's an end of life. They go somewhere, either to be recycled or they just die in a landfill. So they become like another surreal landscape of the waste stream that we produce. The hope through the work is that we just stop taking it for granted and begin to start thinking more deeply about these things that allow us to be who we are.
When we were developing this exhibition, one of the ideas that we had was to show the work of Emily Carr in dialogue with Ed Burtynsky's work, that looked at her sense of the loss that she was experiencing in the realization that we were deforesting and mining this area that she clearly felt was a space of great spirituality and meaning. they both seem to sort of sink into it with the same kind of intensity and understanding. It's quite beautiful. I think that sort of one of the key messages for me in relation to Ed Burtynsky's work is the sense that photography and the role of the photographer, the artist in our communities, is one where they take very seriously, and it often focuses around this idea of observation.
Well, I think the role of the artist is still to build consciousness in the world, to speak about human experience and the parameters of it and the edges of it. All these things tell us about who we are and what we value and possibly where we're going.
He just offers us this sort of entry into places around the world where we would never have access to. To see our place in that, to understand the ethics, our responsibility of that, is something that Ed does probably better than anybody.